It's time for Dog Culture Review Financial Class. So we're looking at the sunk cost of dog ownership through the lens of charity. Like, where should we give our charity money? So luckily, we got our top of the line artist. Um, Look at these cool drawings. So we got three options for our charity. We got our little kid right here. We got a homeless guy, and we got dog charities. So which one of these gets the most charities right now? That's going to be the dog charities. But which one should get the most? Should it be our human children, our other human endeavors? Should it be the homeless guy? Or should it be the dogs? Okay, the worst option is going to be the dogs because the dogs create a labor loss, a money loss in our society. So let's just say, for example, we're going to give 20 bucks to the kid. Let's run a little scenario here. Let's kind of do like a worst case scenario. So the kid, his big brother and big sister and dad and stuff, they don't give him any advice. The person that gave him money doesn't give him any advice. So he just goes and gets like a bunch of candy because he's so hungry and he always wanted to get some chips and chocolate. And then he just like barfs everywhere. He gets super sick. So basically, that 20 bucks is like thrown away, kind of, right? But the whole thing is that he's learned a lesson now. And so now, in his little brain, with his prefrontal lobe and his advanced language skills, he can go tell his little brother, big sister, maybe he's going to be an uncle one day. He can tell that story. And when he gives money, now later on, he's going to have a chance to give this money to like a little kid. And he's going to say, hey, you know what? Be careful. Get yourself like an apple. Maybe get yourself, didn't you need some tires for your bike? Aren't you playing soccer? Didn't you need some sweet new socks? Aren't your socks pretty messed up? Spend some of this 20 bucks on something good. So even though it was kind of a loss with the kid in the first place in our scenario, he's still giving out to society skills, creativity, human connection, and things like that. And that's a big part of this thing is when you give money to your fellow human, like our kid right here, that's your money. Like you did something to earn this 20 bucks and you want it to go somewhere. And so if you give it to a little kid at a personal level, you're going to be a lot more likely to give that kid advice. Hey, I gave you 20 bucks. Didn't you want to get a present for your little sister? They got some cool bicycle gloves and your sister rides a bike a lot. Let me take you over to the store and you can spend that $20. You're going to be way more invested because you're giving that money at a personal level. So on that note, let's pop over to like the dog. When you go on Facebook or online, they always have these pretty pictures of a dog laying on the coast eating a snack, and it's like he was saved from the flood over there in Texarkana where they don't treat dogs right. And thanks to your donations, that dog is going to live a life of beautiful just everything. So that vested interest that you had in the kid, they just take that and they just wipe that off the table, and they sell you this whole BS story of look at what you've done, look at how much you've done for that dog. But the whole problem with that, in the terms of those 501c3 charities that are taking your money and divvying it up for dogs, you give them that big donation. I want to be a good person. Take my money for pupper doggos because dogs are better than humans. Dogs are better than humans, right? Puppies are the best. Yep. And so you give them all this money, and they get some fucked off dogs from the fucking flood or what the hell ever, and they do. I mean, they're watching their profit margin, so they're gonna put 20 bucks towards some dogs. Okay. And so remember, you gave them this pile of money right here. They're going to put that money towards some dogs, and then they're going to put this much towards paying their marketers that created all that fake shit that you watched, tricking you to get that dog money. Then they got to pay their vets because when they take those dogs across state lines on all those buses, they got to dope them up and drug them up so that they can pass muster when they get donated, and then they're going to keep some of that money for themselves, because they have a ton of employees. So you see, you're wasting your money when you bypass the humans and you give it to those dog charities. So wait, what am I talking about? Bypass the humans. What is this freaking guy talking about? Well, remember, what do the dog people always say? They say no bad dogs, right? And then what do they say? Only bad humans. Well, if it's the fault of the human, then why are you using these dogs as a marketing trick to take money from humans? Why don't you actually solve the problem? Give the money to the original humans so they can be educated, motivated, skilled, employed, make smart financial decisions. Why don't you create a charity for the original human? Because that would downstream actually affect the dog. But you see, they don't do that. They don't do that. They create more and more charities for this freeloading, non tax paying, no labor given dog, less charities for the kid, and more slogans that support that idea. Who do you think creates these slogans? Is it your cute uncle on Facebook that owns a dog after he got divorced? No, that slogan was probably created by an influencer. And an influencer took some of that money that you gave that 501c3 charity, they took some of that money because they're on Facebook pushing those pro dog, anti human memes. So you see, this is all a way to suck your money away when you could have originally just gave it to the human. Yeah. Yep. So what about our homeless person though? What's he doing? So part of this analysis I want to make everyone aware of is like people oftentimes hate on homeless people, or they hate on like illegal immigrants or undocumented workers. But the whole thing is, you give $20 to the homeless person, at least it's not a total loss like the dog. He's still going to give back some labor. You know, he's going to get in a dumpster and reuse some stuff. He's going to pick up cans off the road and cash them in to get some money for his booze. You know what I'm saying? Did you know homeless people often buy lottery tickets? So he's gonna go buy some lottery tickets. I was in the mini mart the other day, and this homeless guy from around town, he bought a handful of lottery tickets and paid for them with a $50 bill. So even though homeless people, like even the worst, like drug addicted, alcohol addicted, stinky, smelly homeless people, at least if you give them $20, that makes its way a little bit back into the original people that provided the labor and the payments to get that $20. Whereas a dog, it doesn't. Like, say they, instead of talking about the charities, say you just gave $20 to that stray dog. You went out and bought him some really nice food and some water, and you fed him, and you took some pictures. I helped this poor stray dog. That $20 is gone. But not only is it gone, it's a negative on everyone else in the community, because now that stray dog's going to run around. It might bite somebody. It might cause a road accident. Humane Society or the police are going to have to come get it because it's a dog at large. It might go attack another dog. It's out there creating more labor problems because you elevated it with your money, and now it's out there causing more problems for other people. So it's a complete net loss when you donate to dogs. So you remember I was saying something about the vested interest. Like if you give your money to a kid, you're more likely to have vested interest. And that's the main thing that we're losing here. When we give the money to the dog that's driven by the 501c3 charity, we don't have a vested interest. It's like, oh, they're going to take care of it. But there's also another part of vested interest where we know it's a waste. We know, like some people will give $20 to a homeless person. It's like, he's just going to go get the cheapest bottle of wine and get hammered and get some cheap burritos. You know the $20 is a waste, but you feel good about it. At least you gave the guy a couple nights of good drinking. But this is also true with dog owners themselves. Dog owners know that freaking dog is never going to repay anything. And more in our society, we give this money over here to the dog, our own personal dog, knowing that we don't have a vested interest, but being completely fine with it. So it's taking away our vested interest. Dog owners know they're not going to get that money back, but they'll go all over social media and brag about, my dog eats before me, my kids need to respect my dog, my husband doesn't get his steak until our dog is done eating. They will brag about going broke, they'll brag about putting their dog first, and they're taking that awesome thing about the vested interest away from themselves for the sake of a stupid dog, when you could vest that money in a human. Okay? And for everybody that's like thinking I'm just crazy with this analysis. Well, remember, this slogan right here is super popular in the dog loving, worshiping community. So why don't you guys apply your own logic? If the human is the problem, then we need to start giving humans the opportunity to make human connection, learn skills, develop their prefrontal lobe, develop their financial prowess. You know, this kid right here, if you tell him to get a dog when he's a little kid, all this money he has is gone. His clean fingers, his good breath, you know, his shoes that he could have bought, this all going to be gone because he's got to get a dog. But if you wait until this kid is 18 to even let him consider dogs, and he has all this money that he's earned, and he has like a bunch of friends, and he has a car, and he takes his friends out to all awesome places in America, out to waterfalls and stuff, and you throw a dog in front of him, a stinky, smelly, barking dog, a life of good financial decisions, you know what he's going to do? He's going to be like, no, no, I got human friends, I got a girlfriend, I got a sweet car, I got a clean house, and I'm not getting a dog. And also, they're going to be smart. They're not going to donate to a dog charity, a 501c3 tax shelter. Nope. That kid's going to be smart, and he's going to have human friends. So when he looks at 501c3 charities, he's going to be looking for human ones. He's going to be looking for like helping single moms. He's going to be looking at donating to human things, education, skills, human connection, food for other humans that he has spent a lifetime of money and investment in, and he's got all that feedback. Yeah, so that's why this donating to dogs is a sunk cost. It takes away that human part of us where we want to know, where's our money going? If you give it to a person up front, a human, then you're going to have a vested interest. If you give it to the dog charity over here, you're going to be completely brainwashed, have your heartstrings pulled to the point of they break and stretch, and you're going to be like, oh, I gave $20 to a dog charity. They got it taken care of. I seen all those beautiful pictures online. Yeah, there you go.